There's over 60 years of Fantastic Four. It's been one of the great teams in Marvel for a reason.
You know, when you start these projects, you start doing your research.
And as part of that homework, we did go back and look at the Corman Fantastic Four version. We watched it. We got excited about it. And, you know, Matt came into my office one day while we were prepping and he said, you know, it'd be really great to honor them somehow. We got to get them in this movie. And then shortly thereafter, Kevin and I were chatting. I said, hey, Matt's got this idea about getting the original Fantastic Four in this movie. What do you think? And he said, oh, man, that's the coolest ever. And from that day forward, we were just honestly looking for the right opportunity. And we found it. They came in. That was one of my favorite days on set. And you just saw the light in their eyes.
This is Sue Storm, and I used to be Reed Richards, Johnny Storm, and Bet Grimm.
The basic backstory is there was a film producer by the name of Bernd Eichinger, and Bernd had the rights, apart from Marvel, for the Fantastic Four, and he was going to lose the rights unless he went into production by a certain date. So he goes to Roger Corman and says, hey, I want to make this movie. Can you make this movie and make it right now and make it cheap? And Roger says, sure. We put together this $1 million movie, which for Corman was actually probably a very big budget at the time, but certainly not a budget that you need for a movie like the Fantastic Four.
They did a lot of things right in that movie, and I've had a conversation with all four of them. One of the things I think they did extremely well was the character relationships. It holds up. And, you know, not every special effect on any movie holds up over time, but those were very real relationships that when we did our homework and we looked at the movie early on, we took note.
The phrase happy accident can come to mind to answer the question of why was the casting so good, especially under the gun in a situation that sort of needed to fit right away. The fact that we were given these roles relatively easily because they were under the gun allowed us to either trust ourselves or not. And part of the reluctant superhero dynamic of the dysfunctional Fantastic Four are embodied in the way the four of us worked with each other.
Everybody was so close to those characters. I'm the big, strong, protecting guy, right? Kind of innocent and kind of humble. And that's how Ben Grimm is. Reed Richards, Alex, is a natural leader. Johnny Storm, as you know, is just a bubbly, fiery dude. And Rebecca's always been a little shy, right? Reserved, and that's the Invisible Woman. So we just did ourselves. We all knew that we were working on the Fantastic Four, Marvel's flagship comic book. And so we all took it very seriously. And Ole Sasson, the director, got us all together for a pep talk right before we started shooting. And he said, gang, we know what we're doing. We know what we're up against, not having enough money for the effects that it needs to have. So let's focus on what we have control over. And he says, I'm gonna do my best as a director. I want you all as actors to do your best. I want you to take this seriously, develop the characters. And he said, let's work really hard at recreating the comic onto the screen.
We were trying to be true to the comic book because we knew the audience. Like we owed it to the audience. You go, they know this better than we do, so we better be accurate. And so we didn't even set out to go, oh, it's a period piece. You just go, well, it looks like this because that's what it looked like in the comic book. And so it gave it a little kind of timelessness just organically.
We were filming at Rogers Studio, which was this dilapidated warehouse in Venice Beach, California, and rats and cockroaches, and the place should have been condemned years before, you know? It's like being in the trenches of a war kind of thing.
There was like one room where we would either hang out or change clothes if I had to change. And then when it was just bare bones, all of the wardrobe that I wear in the movies, my own clothes, I think everybody's wear their own clothes. Like the only real wardrobe were the blue suits and my wedding dress. And so when we got the suits the very first time and I put them on, you can actually see the hand stitching, like where the blue and the white is. And I said to the costume designer, it's like, you can see the stitching. And he's like, that's okay because Sue made them. That's all we had to go with.
I get there, I said, so I'm in the suit, right? And they go, no, it took 6 months to build this suit. And this has already been done by Optic Nerve, was who did it. So they had to hire a stunt guy named Carl Cefalio. I was so destroyed and disappointed because that's the good part. So what I did is I was on the set every day he was on the set. And I made sure that we worked together as a good stunt guy would do and make sure that he mimics what the actor's gonna do. Then when ADR came in, I voiced everything and it's clobbering time.
We knew that this could also be a calling card for all of us, right? This could put us on the maps in terms of boosting a career kind of thing. And so we took it seriously.
Our whole passion with doing this was that we would get to do another one. It's like, if we do this good enough, then next time we'll get the money, and then we can do two, and we kind of had it all planned out.
We went into production, we finished the movie. We were looking forward to it actually coming out. There's a premiere that was scheduled at the Mall of America. The comic world knew about the movie. We had done Comic-Cons and conventions already at this point.
After that trailer played at the Shrine Auditorium, Alex looks at me and he says, Michael, we got to do something, in that Alex voice. And I go, what do we do? He goes, we got to hire a publicist, and I know somebody. And so I end up paying for the publicist, about 15 grand in my own pocket, and we went around the country promoting this.
There's an old actor's thing, is you have to go out and find your audience. We would go to little comic conventions. There was no such thing as big comic conventions. I think we went to one of the original San Diego Comic-Cons, which was in a hotel, and we would show the trailer, and we would sign pictures.
We were on like Hollywood Reporter, a Film Thread, all these different things, just crazy. And then we promoted, we said, screw it, we're gonna keep going, and we did. And then come I think it was in either end of November or December, Oli called us and said, hey, you need to stop. The rights have been sold.
The plug got pulled, it disappeared. And then that's what's then become just Hollywood lore for these last 30 years.
Really makes me emotional because it was a real effort of love and fun.
Films get shelved every day, we all know that, but not the way ours did, and that really hurt us.
Maybe 10 years later, the internet magnified all of that. So we were like a little fungus that grew into a big mushroom,
If they had just done it by the contract and, okay, now it's January 1st, we got some stuff in the can, thanks and go home, there never would have been a movie. And I have to say, one time we were at a Comic-Con in St. Louis, and they actually showed it in one of the ballrooms. The sound is incredible, and the music. And by that time, the things that were kind of cheesy weren't like cheesy, like, ugh, stupid cheesy. Like, it was funny. And the stuff that was so sincere was kind of fun. And to watch it with an audience and you hear people laugh, you hear people cheer, you get goosebumps, like the music, you get a little teary-eyed. It was so phenomenal.
Once we understood that people refer to this film as a hidden gem through internet and whatnot, we were here all along, and finally we're in the right place at the right time to contribute. And yes, we are all thrilled to that.
Thank you, Fantastic Four!
We gotta go again on that one. I can't count.
3, 2, 1, action!
Thank you, Fantastic Four!
For the last 30 years, all of us, we've only ever wanted some kind of acknowledgement that a movie was made, right? That this movie exists. And whether we thought, oh man, would it be great if Marvel maybe put it on some DVD as an extra or a special or this, that, or the other. But as Rebecca was saying, we were talking earlier, and she said, but this is the one. This is the right one. There's something special, I think, about this version that's being made. And for us to fit in with this version, we had to wait 30 years, and that's okay.
Thank you very much, everybody.
In a sense, that is a marvel. That's something that, in a way, we sort of had to pretend we didn't do. Has maintained its relevance in the Marvel universe.
The countdown continues as the Fantastic Four prepare to welcome a new member of the family.
You can imagine how that feels for an artist.
We're laughing and joking coming onto the set here today because, I said, guys, we're going from Roger Corman's rundown studio to Marvel.
Anytime we're together is fantastic, but this time especially.
And to be included now in the Marvel universe, it was elation. I mean, it was just a thrill. Again, this is 30 years in the making for us. This is truly coming full circle.
There he is.
There we are.
That's what we did.
There we are.
Perfect.
And what was now next?
Yeah.
Then
Onward? What did we say?
Excelsior.
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 I think we need another take of that. Hold on.
All right, here we go.
He's really the leader.
And Excelsior.
No, I need to go again. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.